Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to understand how the RAG system works, and we are going to build the RAG system using n8n and a vector database from scratch. Okay, so speed up this video to 1.5 to 2x so that you can understand me better, because I'm going to speak a little bit slower. So yeah, please. So what is RAG? I'm going to cover a few things in this video. What is RAG? And going to build using n8n, using the vector store database called Pinecone, and using the Google Drive to store our files so that we can train it to the chatbot. Okay, and build a whole good chatbot. So let me add here, we are going to build a chatbot assistant. Okay, using RAG system. So first understand what is RAG. So RAG means Retrieval-Augmented Generation. So that means it's so much technical. Understand, this is a database for AI. Okay, this is the database for AI because AI models do not understand the database structure that we were using inside the cloud server architecture or in other technical things. So LLM models or AI models always prefer the vector database similar to the Pinecone. Okay, if you go and search for the Pinecone, you will find like Pinecone is a vector database for the AI models. Okay, so this vector database, there are some more database which you can use. I am just going to use the vector because it is free, and we try to prefer the free system for getting started. Okay, now for using the vector database, we are going to use the database for training the model. But the question rises, why we actually need a database? If you understand the LLM model, if you understand the GPT, you understand like whenever you put some data, when you ask some data to the LLM model, they have their own memory. They have trained on their own data set, but the data set is always not relevant. But there are some few kind of data that we do not want to give, or that AI doesn't know. Like for example, it do not understand your database. It do not understand who are you. It do not understand on which context we are talking about. That is why the people over the period of time started adding more context using the API tools, databases, and other kind of things. And we start calling it an AI agent. The AI agent, that means the LLM model now have more tools and more things to do the things on your behalf. Okay, so now you are giving the hands and legs to this brain now and making a full body. We are calling it agent. Simple as that. Okay, so for adding the more context, we need a simple method or simple way to give the idea to the LLM model, like, okay, understand this is what we are doing, understand what our data is, understand who we are talking about, what is the context, and specific and relevant information without hallucinating the user. And for the specific use cases, for example, the chatbot and AI assistant, this is something we need. Okay, so this is a basic information I would like to cover. Now understand by building it. Okay, so let's go to the our n8n system and start a new workflow. So we have the two things to do in this video. Firstly, to add the data to the vector state and the retrieve the data from the vector state. So there are two important methods on it. So for adding the data, because if we want to train any AI chatbot, so let's start from retrieving the data. So let's build a chatbot, for example. Start with a chatbot, and I'm not making it public for now. Okay, and I just wanted to add an agent here. So it's very easy. You can choose an agent. I'm just defining the user input and adding a chat model. Let's say I'm using the Google Chat. Okay, using the simplest user 1.5 plus simple, and a memory. I'm using the simple memory to make sure like user is talking to the same context and not any tool. Okay, let's start by talking a chat. Okay, I'm saying hi there. You can see it's clear how I can help you. So I'm saying, do you know Chandra? Okay, it is going to fetch the information from the internet and giving me whatever it's trained on. So it's not giving the my relevant information. So what is my goal in this video is to build an AI agent that is only telling about myself, that is only understand who I am and all the things about me. Okay, so this is my personal chatbot, so that I can give it to you and you can ask the chatbot about myself, and give the chatbot can answer the relevant questions according to my trained data. Okay, so let's start by adding the vector database here. So we are going to use a Pinecone vector database. You can just log in with your own account, and for adding the vector database, you just have to sign up for it. Okay. So, but before it, let's understand how we are going to build using the n8n. So I am just going to use Google Drive to add more files to the vector database here. So I'm just going to add a new node called Drive, and I'm just going to add as trigger. Okay. So I am just using as a trigger and just searching for the drive and on specific folder changes. Okay. So I'm just saying on if any changes in a specific folder it's happening, just execute this process. Okay. It is going to fold everything in every minute. And if changes to the specific folder, make sure you have added your Google Drive account. For this, you can watch my previous videos where I have already explained how you can add your Google OAuth using Google Console and enable the services and create your credentials. I have already created and used my existing OAuth credentials, and make sure you have enabled the Google OAuth services. For this, you have to go to this document section and you have to go to Google Console. Here, you can go to the Google Drive. Perfect. And you have to just use these things here. I'm just going to use Google Drive so that I can read my personal or important files only, and enable the API. So you can go here and search for the Google search, Google Drive. I'm just saying to Drive, and just use the Google Drive API. So I'm just going to take it and enable this. So make sure you have enabled this API. And now we are going to add this to here. So you can add your API keys and log in with your credentials. And once you have added your Google Drive account, you can now choose this method. So I'm just going to select my existing folder. I have created this folder called AI automation, similar to that here in the Google Drive. And now I have to just watch for if new file has been created. Okay. Now I'm going to test it. So I've already added a file. So it's taking the last file I have added. Okay, perfect. Now what I have to do here, I have to download this file to my n8n. For downloading this, I am going to choose the Drive node again and going to do the download file option here. And here you can add the option for the file. So I am going to take the file that has all recently added. So you have seen like this is the data coming from the Google Drive from the last data added. So what I have to do, I have to go to this spaces section and just choose the ID. So I'm just going to select the IDs and just select the last ID that I have added. Perfect. And now you can test this method. It is taking the ride and you can see that my file has been coming to my n8n. Perfect. Now what I have to do, I have to add this to the vector database. For adding to the vector database, I have to select this here, the option called Pinecone vector database. Okay. So I'm going to select the Pinecone. Very good. Pinecone vector database. And I can select this Pinecone database and just say add documents to the vector store. Perfect. Now I have to do few things importantly. First thing, like what Pinecone vector database I have to add. For adding the Pinecone database, you have to add your new credentials. You can choose this click button called new credentials and go to your Pinecone account. So you can go and Pinecone account and go to the API section and select this create API key and add your key name, like whatever you remember. I just added my n8n automation and I have just added my key here and just save it. I've already added. Now you have to choose the new option called from the list, and here you have to select new database. If you have not seen any database, go to your database section called like this and create a new index. Okay. For creating new index, you have to add the index name. Make sure you have a small and memorable name, and you have to choose new option. So I am just going to use the text embedding small. This is basically most effective for the most of the use cases. I'm going to choose this and going to just select my default automation because this is the database that I have not used as of now. So I am going back to the indexes and my default databases here. You can see there is no namespaces and no files here as of now. Okay. So we are going to add this from here. Default, and I just wanted to add a namespace. So namespace, let's say I'm going to give my information. So I'm saying the Chandra info. Okay, so this is namespace like a folder inside the vector store where I'm going to add or upload my whole data in a vector form inside the Pinecone. Okay, simple as that. Now I have to add two more things, add embeddings. So make sure you have using the OpenAI embeddings and select the option that we have chosen, like text embedding 3 is small. So this is what we have chosen while creating the vector store database. Fine. Now you have to do another thing, like we have to export like we have to give the instructions to the Pinecone, like what kind of loader you have to use to load the file that we have added. So I'm going to use the default one, and I'm going to choose the binary file as of now. Okay, and I'm just going to say like automatically detect whatever the file you have. Okay, and now you have to choose the text splitter. So basically this is going to split our whole chunk or good chunk of files into the small chunks, and I am going to just use the recursive character. This is important or like recommended for the most of the use cases. This is it. I'm just going to save it as a default. Now perfect, this is our we have already added the system to add the data to the vector data store. So let's me close the chat option, and here you can see this is the simplest system I have to build for adding the data. And now I have to run this file. So you can see I am just running this thing. Go to my Pinecone, and you can see like there is no namespace as of now. If this process confirms, now you can see the process has been confirmed. You can click here and you can see like data has been already uploaded. Go here and you can see the Chandra info is here with the 8 records. Perfect. And now you can browse and see like I have the whole lot of data here, and it is in the chunks format. Like you can see like I have added a whole lot of PDF, but it converted into small chunks and added to the Pinecone. This is perfect. I have added my data to my vector state. No, perfect. I have to use this data in my chatbot so that it can answer about myself. So as I have already created the agent, I have to just add the few more things to this agent. Okay. Why it's not scrolling? Okay, perfect. Now I have to add a tool called question answers vector store. So I am just answering the vector store. So I am just going to use the simple vector store, but specifically it is having the one tool called vector store question answers tool. This is good one for answering the question. I'm just saying it's user info. I'm just saying use this tool to answer users questions. Okay, simple as that. Now I have to add two more things. One is a vector store, which is again the simple thing. I have to use the Pinecone vector store, almost same setting. You have to add existing Pinecone account. You have to add the Pinecone index. I'm using the default one because I have already added the default for the training purposes. Good one. And now I have to choose the embedding. The embedding is same as the previous one. So you have to use the OpenAI account and you have to add the embedding. Perfect. Make sure while adding the embedding, you have to add the OpenAI account. I have forgot to tell you. So you have to add the OpenAI account. You can directly follow the simple instruction and create your own personal OpenAI API keys. Perfect. Now you can add a model. I'm just going to use the OpenAI model. Let's say OpenAI. And just using the cheapest GPT-4 Omni. Perfect. Now I have to test this. Earlier, I have asked who is Chandra. It is telling about the Chandra X-ray Observatory. Now I'm refreshing it and asking who is Chandra. Again, it is fetching the data using the agent and it is giving the answer. Sorry, I cannot answer this question. I do not have ability to access external websites. Okay, because I have not added any specific prompt to this model. So I'm going to add and going to the system message, and I'm going to add a specific prompt that I've generated from the GPT. So what I've asked GPT to write a prompt to behave as a good support person and use the reg system to fetch the information. Perfect. And I'm going to use this system prompt like this and copy this, going to my reg system and paste it here. Perfect. And I'm saying use tool for, let's leave it to this itself because it's automatically detecting it. Okay, leave this and ask again, what do you know? It's just accessing the things. And it's saying I am large language model trained by the Google. Okay, I'm saying who is Chandra? I don't have the, okay, maybe I'm using the GPT. Let me remove the Google model and use the GPT model here. OpenAI GPT-4 Mini. Perfect. Simple memory that we have already added. And let me ask, refresh this. Who is Chandra? It should use the tool. Okay, now it's using the tool. Perfect. Fine. Not executed. It seems in specific Chandra without accessing the different field. Okay, what happened? It is going to the, it is asking in the output section, it is responding properly and going who is Chandra, and it is responding me back. Oh, it's not responding. So vector restore is not responding. So what I have to do is I have to define the specific namespace that I have to use. So I'm going to here options, add the Pinecone namespace, and I'm going to use the namespace that I've created. So you have to use the namespace, this one, Chandra info. Perfect. Copy this. And you have to add this to here. Perfect. Now you have to re-ask it again. Who is Chandra yaar? Batao. It's refreshing the data. Oh, it's Chandra Prakash in our entrepreneur content kit. Everything. Do you know Aditya? Because I have to just check like if answering it the right one or not. Sorry, I don't know. So this is very good. So now I have trained this whole vector store and RAG system we have built, and you can share this, and even you can embed this chat system to a website. For this, if you want another video, I can cover this, how you can share this to any other website, and you can add this chatbot to anyone, and when you can train the data. So for training the data in the future, you have to just add more files to it, and it automatically going to detect and upload to the Pinecone vector store, and you can use the system for building a whole good lot of good user experience based on system. And also for the support agent or any kind of agent, if you want to build in future, a RAG system is going to be very, very useful for saving your time and be more specific and building a robust AI system for your use case. In this video, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and let me know what are the next use cases you want to build, and I will love to support and help you guys. Thanks for watching and keep improving. Bye.